much for coming back to my channel. My name is Precious, and if you're new here, thank you so much for finding my channel. Please like, please subscribe, and join the family, guys. First things first, okay? First things first. Thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. Because you know, sometimes you feel like what you're doing sometimes is not going anywhere. And when people are watching and people are subscribing and people are like enjoying the content that you're making, really does go a long way, and like makes us know that okay, what I'm doing is kind of valuable and I'm not wasting my time or not wasting people's time. So guys, thank you so much. I love you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for engaging with the content as well. So today I'm back with another collaboration, guys, but I do have to say that as per my last collaboration with Carla, who was living in the Netherlands, guys, I do want to say that we can disagree. We can have opinions, right? That's fine. That's freedom of speech. However, I really want to stress the fact that can we please be polite? Can we please be not mean, basically, right? Okay. Cool, so let's move right on ahead to another South African collaboration, which I am excited about. So, funny enough, her name is also Carla, and I didn't mean for them to be like consecutive. It was just like coincidence, right? So today's collaboration is with a South African girl living abroad, and she lives in America right now, right? So she is South African, and she moved from South Africa to America, I think 2 or 3 years ago, but you will hear her story. And she moved from South Africa to United States of America. So if that's what you want to hear about, please subscribe, please click like, because it goes a long way, guys. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Today's collaboration is with Mareka. I think if I'm pronouncing her name incorrect, please correct me. I'm so sorry. But she is a former au pair, right? So au pairing is basically like taking care of other people's kids, basically. And I think I wanted to do it at some point in my life after university, because I wanted to travel, right? So the thing about wanting to travel is that you want to take any opportunity that is available to you, right? And so I was also thinking about au pair, but I didn't do it. But I think I'm still within the age range, because the au pairing limit is 26. But anyway, so let's just like hear about her journey. Let's just hear about the world of au pairing overseas from Carla. So first things first, Carla, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much for scheduling a little bit of like 20 minutes, 15 minutes to just chat with me, and also answering some of my questions, right? So the first question is, please introduce yourself and where in South Africa are you originally from?
Hi everybody. Thank you so much for having me, and for just even thinking of having me on here and be a part of this. So I'm so excited to dive into. My name is Carla Mareka, and I am 24 years old. Currently reside in the United States, but I am originally from South Africa. Duh. And I grew up in Johannesburg, to be specific in Alexandra. So I'm a township girl. Like, I grew up in the township, love it, miss it, can't wait to go back and visit. But when I was about 8 years old, I relocated and moved to Kempton Park. So I kind of had the best of both worlds, really. But yeah, I'm a township girl at heart. So yeah, I grew up in Gauteng.
The question is, how long have you been living in America, and how did you learn about the au pair program?
Living in the United States for about 3 years now. Not about, actually, it's been 3 years. When I first moved here, it was in 2019 February. Years and 3 months since I've been in the United States. And how did I learn about the au pair program? So my friend at the time was an au pair in the United States. So she did her 2-year term, and so while I was back home, I was in college actually, back home, so I wasn't even thinking about becoming an au pair. And then life happened, and I was like, okay, it'll be a good idea to go to the United States. So I actually discovered or knew about the process from her.
Can you briefly explain what does au pairing actually mean, actually entail?
Because you're working 45 hours a week with kids running around them. You're basically a mom in a way, or a parent when the parents are not there. It's the cooking, it's the laundry, it's the cleaning, the bedrooms. Your job is just to take care of the kids' mess, by the way, cleaning up their mess, and then it's a thing.
Okay, next question. Is it easy to apply to the program, and how long is the process? Because for the JET program, which is a totally different industry, but we have to apply first, right? The JET program's process is really long, really tedious. It spans around like 5 months until you actually like depart for Japan or for Tokyo, for wherever you are supposed to work. But like, in terms of the au pair program and in America, how long does the process take?
Okay, even just thinking about the process right now just gives me a headache, because it was one of the longest, most frustrating things I had ever done in my life. But it is easy to apply to it if you have the requirements. So if you're 18 years plus, if you have a driver's license, if you have the money for it, I would actually say have around maybe 20,000 rands for the process. So if you have the money, you have experience in childcare priorities, and you have references for childcare, then you can definitely apply to be an au pair. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. You just go on their website, Cultural Care's website, and then you'll basically fill out like 4 questions, and then they'll get back to you. And when they get back to you, that's when they will give you the application forms, and then they'll call you in for an interview, and then the process starts there. There's just so many things involved in it. Like throughout the process, they ask you to get like HIV tests, full medical health exam, applied before COVID, so things moved very quickly. You could apply and get a family in 2 weeks and be out in a month. It was that easy, and that's what happened to me. It took me a month to apply and get everything they required, documents and stuff like that. And then second of all, I was in the matching phase. We call it the matching phase, where you interview with the American families until you find your perfect match. And that took me a month after interviewing, I think, 16 families. So I was applying in a month, interviewing in a month, and out in a month. So my process took 2 months. But right now, everything is so difficult because after COVID hit, families aren't really looking for like out of country au pairs anymore. Some of them are, but there's just the amount of people who want to be au pairs now compared to like the amount of families that are in the program. It's a very high and it's a very low, so it's just difficult right now. I know people have been waiting for a year, which is insane.
And I want to ask about the au pairing salary, right? And I know that the dollar is obviously much stronger than the rand. Are you able to live comfortably with the salary of an au pair? Or were you able to live comfortably on the salary of au pairing?
You do get $195 every single week, which basically does nothing. It does cover like your toiletries if you want to do that, if you want to go to Starbucks with your friends, or you want to go to dinner, here and there. I pretty much loved being, growing up in South Africa, we like nice things. So I spent most of my money on travel and clothes. Literally, like nothing else mattered. I spent whatever I got. I would book a flight or like book a hotel with my friends and travel, and I didn't even save a cent, to be honest, during my au pair journey. I couldn't. Like, there's just not enough money for you to be able to save. I know some girls who like don't like going out. Well, they do like going out, but they sacrifice all those things. They sacrifice going on vacation. They sacrifice going out with their friends, and to save and then be able to take whatever they made in the United States to go back home. And to be honest, it is a lot of money when you do convert it to rands. And I know people who saved like 100,000 rands. I know people who saved 80,000 rands. So if you really don't do anything and you don't buy stuff, and you are happy living a simple life in the United States, then you will walk away with a lot of money. But I came here for the experience as well. And as much as I knew I would be going back home to probably nothing, I wanted to live my best life here. So just with the money that we get, you do get to eat with the family at home, and basically your basic needs are provided. It's just, it is not enough for like traveling. You know how they sell you the dream that you're going to be traveling? It's a lie. Traveling is expensive. Say you are able to live comfortably. I would say for some people like me, it was better living here with this salary than how I was living back home. Like here I was able to like still be able to send money back home, you know, and help out with my family, and I was able to like travel, which is what made me happy. But I had to understand what those sacrifices meant. I didn't have money at the end of the week, like zero.
So next question, I would like to know, how was the transition from moving to South Africa to America for you? Like, was it easy? Just like how did you go about that whole transitioning process?
So the transition was, okay, as I mentioned earlier, that I wasn't looking into moving to the United States, let alone being an Aupair. That was not part of my plan. I was not interested in it. But when my dad told me he couldn't pay for my college fees anymore, I knew like I needed to do something. So the plan was to come to the United States and make money and go back home to finish my college, my last year, and graduate. And that did not turn out that way because I'm still here. But I had no intentions whatsoever of coming to the United States. So the transition for me was a bit difficult. I didn't want to leave my friends. I didn't want to leave my mom. My sister was pregnant at the time and actually gave birth 2 weeks after I flew here. So it was very hard. I wanted to be there for her. I love my little sister so much. I didn't want to leave. So the transition for me was very difficult. Like I remember I packed the day of the flight. My flight was on Sunday at 9 p.m. and I started packing noon when I should have been at the airport already. I was packing at home because that's how much I was stalling. I didn't want to come here. So for me it was difficult. It was just hard. But when I got to the United States, I felt so much better. Believe it or not, South Africa is so similar to the United States. Like we do have similar stuff except for food. Food here is horrible. So that transitioning wasn't that good. But yeah, I think the transition for me was difficult. Just plainly blank being, I was not planning on coming here and it wasn't part of my vision. So it was just hard to wrap my head around the fact that I was leaving everybody and everything back home. My car is back home, which I just got in. So I was not ready to let that go. And my process was quick. Like I told you guys, 2 months. I didn't know it was going to be literally like a...
Okay, so this is kind of maybe interesting and fun. What notable culture shock have you did you experience upon arriving in America? Like any culture shocks? Because I mean, American pop culture is everywhere on our like are bamboozled with American media every single day. But for you personally, as a South African, what culture shocks have you experienced?
So many culture shocks. So many. I actually want to do a YouTube video about this because there's so many. You guys, I think I have 10 that I can count at the top of my head. Firstly, okay, we all know Americans drive on the other side of the road. So that to me was, it still freaked me out when I got there because driving on the right hand side of the road was what I was used to. And now all of a sudden everything is this side and the traffic lights are not like the robot back home. It's just different. Like the traffic lights are like hanging on in the air. They connected to like, it's just different. Like I don't get it sometimes. And like the exits, like exiting off of the highway is like this way, and in South Africa it's on the other side. It is just a lot of things. And how like when you get to the traffic stop, if the traffic light is red, if you're turning right, you can turn on red. It's confusing, I know, because in South Africa red means red, but in the United States if you are turning right, so let's say you are back home, because we use the left hand side of the road, if you are turning left and the traffic light is red, as long as there aren't any cars passing, you have every right to turn left. But yeah, secondly, culture shocks. They have calories on everything. Like on a bag of potato chips, getting mazimba. I've gotten so used to like the American terms that I even forgot what we call them back home. But like mazimba, at the back they'll write calories. When you go to McDonald's, on the menus there's calories. Everything that you purchase, that you have to eat, has calories on it. I don't know why, because they're not healthy, so I have no idea why they still put calories on there. But yeah, that was the second thing I noticed. The third thing was the food portions are huge. Like huge, you guys know, like the portions are very huge. Like a medium burger in South Africa is like extra large in the United States, and like the soda cups like Coke, it's just big, unnecessarily big. Muffins that you buy at a store, the chicken, that was what freaked me out the most. The chicken is huge, and no, apparently they inject it with like water to make it bigger, but I don't know why. Like the chicken wings are literally like this big, and like the thighs are huge, and I'm like, there's no chicken that looks like that. There is no chicken that looks like that or is as big as that. So I just, yeah, their food portions are really big. And what else? Like, they are so polite. They say hi everywhere. You'll just be taking a walk and it's good morning, how are you? And then you move on with your day. You get in the bus and it's like, good morning, hi, how are you? Oh, and then you have to be so friendly. And yeah, it's just, they are friendly. So that was dogs are everywhere. Dinja, guys, they are everywhere. Okay, this one just really, that is my number one actually. I keep talking about dogs when people ask me, but dogs are like treated like babies, probably even better than human beings in the United States. I don't know what it is, but like dogs here are living their best life. If I was a dog in the United States, I would be living my best life. They take them to like the groomers, they get like their hair trimmed, they get their nails done, they have a daycare for dogs, a crèche, guys, for dogs. When you go on vacation, you leave your dog at a doggy hotel. They have like these little cute clothes for them. Every apartment building has to have like a dog place where you can wash your dog, and like any pets, they charge you for that. But like dogs are everywhere. They are at the restaurant, they take them to restaurants, they take them to grocery stores. They are always in the car, by the way. And it's just like they live in the house, they are allowed on the couches, they sleep with them. They do everything with dogs. They even fly with dogs. And then there's such a thing called like a service dog. There's a service dog. You can take it anywhere and it kind of like services you. Schools do not have fences at all. You literally can walk in as anybody, like on the door. Just open the door and you're inside the school. There's no electric gate. There's no... Kids are just playing outside and you can just walk by as a stranger. That to me is very strange and unsafe, which is why like this whole mass shooting that is happening in the United States right now is driving me crazy. Is because the schools, first of all, they're not protected. Like,
you know, because my audience are people who would like to move or just want to know how it is, right? Maybe it's very intriguing. So did you find it easy to settle in the American community for you? Was it easy to settle in? Well, because I'm guessing it's not a homogeneous, because it's like a diverse place, right? So you're moving from a diverse place, South Africa, to another diverse place. Obviously it's different, but they're both diverse. So like, how was it for you to settle in?
I feel like we watch the United States on TV, we know how they live, and it's totally similar to how we in South Africa live. So for me, it wasn't that hard to settle in. The thing was, it's harder to settle in your host parents' house as an au pair than it is to settle in the country, if that makes sense. Like, settling in with the family was the hardest part for me, because I was like, I didn't want to, like, I couldn't just go up and make food while they're sitting there, even though I was starving, because it's just like, I don't know, it's just the thing that, like, you can't just stand up and go make yourself food. You can, but it felt uncomfortable for me, so I'd wait for them to, like, be out of the room or be out of the house for me to go make food. And, you know, little things like that. That's why I struggled with settling in the house than the country itself. The country is very easy to, again, I repeat, it's very similar to South Africa, besides, like, the house, the street rules, road rules, or whatever. It's very easy to settle into, but the household, that's another story.
So, I want to ask, are Americans really friendly? Are Americans friendly? Like, compared to the general view of how South Africans are, would you say Americans are friendly?
I can definitely say Americans are very friendly. South Africa is also a friendly country, but they also have that thing, like like kind of attitude, you know. And Americans, like I said earlier on in another question, they are really friendly. They will greet you no matter who you are. And once they hear that you are not American and you have a different accent, oh my goodness, you feel like a celebrity. Where are you from? Oh my goodness, I've always wanted to visit South Africa, or I've been to Cape Town. It just sparks like a whole new conversation. Just by you saying, I'm good, thank you, they can tell you're not American, and that is just a conversation starter. So they are friendly. Like, I needed help at the gas station because, another culture shock, you guys. You fill up your own gas. Petrol. You fill up your own petrol in the United States. At first I was very excited for it. Now I'm very bored of it. I miss my South African attendants because it sucks filling up your own gas. So that was another culture shock. But I had problems because I didn't know how to. It's a whole process and I didn't know how to, and like they were very quick to like jump in and help me. And you know, everybody's just always smiling. Also depends what state you are in. There's some states where people apparently are very rude, like LA. People are not nice in LA. They just mind their own business, and you know, that is it. But like other states, people are very friendly. Even in states where people aren't that friendly, there's people who are very friendly. Yeah, they'll just greet you for no reason or start a conversation with you for nothing, smile at you, and they always have dogs. So when a dog comes up to you, that's another conversation starter. You can't be like, "Yes, tech man," you know, and stuff like that. You just have to like pet it and be like, "Oh, it's so cute," you know, that fake conversation with the doggy. That's what happens. But yeah.
So I want to know, before moving to America, how much money did you save, or how much money did you have to have? And because of inflation and all that stuff, if someone is interested in au pairing, how much money would you advise them to take with them to America? Or how much money would you say it's okay to kind of save upon, you know, them moving? I ask this because a lot of jets, or a lot of people who want to apply to the jet program and to Japan, they always advise them to have a bit of like 1 month of expenses. So in rands, like 25,000 rands, maybe 30,000 rands. If people can't do that, maybe 20,000. So like 20,000 rands minimum that you need to prepare for your move to Japan. So I would like to know, how does that work with the au pairing and with moving to America?
Before moving to the United States, I had 0 rands. I'm not even kidding. I had nothing, guys. Not even 5 rands. I honestly had nothing, it was very difficult to come up with like the au pair program fee because my family didn't have it, I didn't have it, I was not working, so I couldn't even save up for anything. So I honestly had nothing in my pockets. Like, I don't want to lie to you guys, not even 2 rands. I had nothing. And I would advise, like I said earlier on, have about 20,000 rands to save up for the program, to be able to like let your process run smoothly, because it does take a lot. Like these HIV tests, they're asking you to go do medical health exams and stuff like that. Those require money, and the program fee is like 14,000 rand as well.
Okay, so next question, what type of person is suitable for this kind of work, or this kind of job? Like, what kind of person can be an au pair?
So the type of person suitable for this job is somebody who is very headstrong, somebody who is very responsible, somebody who is independent, and somebody who is emotionally, physically, mentally stable. And I'm saying that because a lot of people think being an au pair is, oh, it's all night. It is not. It's a lot of work, and it does take like a mental, in South Africa, and how discipline is such a big thing. You cannot do that here. They say here it's all about positive reinforcement. So if a child hits you, for example, it's all about sitting with the child, sitting down with the child, talking about the situation and understanding why they did that. They discipline their kids in the United States. You can't spank a kid. You can't yell at them like that. You can't. It's called abuse. So you need to be able to like push back your feelings aside, be able to deal with the situation in a manner that the parents want you to. Suitable for this job just needs to be mentally strong.
So Karawa, I'd like to know, would you recommend au pairing? Like, would you recommend it as an option to move abroad? Is it a good reason to move abroad, in your opinion?
I would definitely recommend au pairing 100%. Even though people go through terrible experiences and you've probably heard like bad stories, I would definitely recommend au pairing, because I wouldn't be here married, living in the United States if it wasn't for this journey. I wouldn't have met my partner, and I wouldn't have been living the life I'm living now because if it wasn't for au pairing. So au pairing definitely opens up opportunities. Some people stay here and they actually do study and go to school in the United States, which is a big deal. And such doors can only be opened, not only, but some doors like that are opened by being an au pair. So I definitely recommend being an au pair. It definitely opens your eyes up to the world and how other people live, cultural differences, just a whole new world, and you learn more about yourself. You become so independent, and yeah, it just teaches you a lot about yourself. And I didn't know what I wanted to be before I was an au pair. I went to school for like marketing finance, and I still want to do that because it is a passion of mine, but I only discovered I want to be in real estate and interior designing because of au pairing and because of this journey. So it's just all about self-discovery, and I definitely recommend it. Whether you have a horrible experience or not, it's just still worthwhile. Like the friends you meet, you honestly make friends from across the globe, and it's just a blessing and a half.
So this is maybe very personal, and but it's also really interesting because living abroad does change a person, because it's not your home country. You are surrounded by so many different factors that impact your growth: emotional growth, spiritual growth, intellectual growth, physical growth. How has living in America changed you? Has living in America had a negative or positive impact on you as a person generally? Like, what do you think about your journey since being there? How have you changed?
I definitely think I have changed. I learned more about myself. I learned more about how to take care of friendships. And this thing of, I was always that girl back home where I was friends with everybody, every girl. I was in that clique, I had so many best friends, I had so many close friends. And this journey kind of opens your eyes to like what real friendship means. And I'm kind of enjoying my close circle right now. It definitely teaches you a lot about how to handle relationships, how to communicate better, and that's what I am still trying to figure out. And honestly speaking, it has been a journey and a half, and I've learned perspective in general on life has changed, like what is more important and what is not important, and it has definitely been an eye-opener. Also learned about like why other people do things the way they do, try to understand like people's perspectives of doing certain things, and yeah, I think a major one for me has just been about how to maintain relationships, which ones to let go, which ones to let in. And yeah, I think that has been a positive. A negative, I cannot think of any. I think the only negative thing I can say is the fact that like I am in the United States. I've kind of seen a thing in me where it's not that I don't care, but it's like I've blocked out all the drama home. Like I'm not so involved in like home affairs or like my friends' lives back home. As you can imagine, I am like thousands and thousands of kilometers away from home, so that on its own is very difficult, but it is also a negative because...
And I want to ask, do you have any tips or any advice for somebody looking at this video, sitting at home or anywhere in the world, that who wants to maybe like transition to a country, or maybe someone who needs that little push to move abroad, maybe someone who needs that little push to apply to au pairing, to apply to anything? What advice or tips do you have for that kind of person right now?
I'd definitely say eat as much South African food as you can and make sure you get tired of it before you move to the United States, because the food here is horrible. But just do it. Don't even overthink it. Just do it. You have no idea how much you could learn living in another country. Like, it opens up your eyes to so many things. And you know, the advice to your final destination, when you do get to your final destination, whether it's America or it's in Europe or it's in Asia, wherever you're going abroad, just be open-minded. Do what the locals do. There's definitely a lot of things you could learn from.
Lastly, please plug your social media. Where can we find you? YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn. Okay, no. If you want to connect with you and see how your life is and just be even more inspired.
So my social media is Karabo Mareka, so KARABOMAREKA on Instagram. So at Karabo Mareka, and my YouTube channel is my name as well, Karabo Mareka, and my Facebook too, Karabo Mareka. Everyone, my social media, it's just my name and my last name. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much to Precious for allowing me to, you know, have the space with you guys to share my journey.
So that is the end of our collaboration and our hangout session, our chit chat session. Thank you so much once again. I appreciate you for agreeing. I hope that people watching this get something out of this. I hope that you are either inspired, or if you have any questions, please write down below or direct them to Karaba as well. I'm pretty sure that she will be able to answer anything that you want to know about living abroad, or living as a South African abroad, in Japan, in America, you know, anything. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode of series, I love that. If you enjoyed this episode, please click like, subscribe. Okay, please subscribe, because it does help everyone reach my channel, and it does help a lot of people, which is basically what I want. That's the purpose of me starting this whole channel. Okay guys, see you next time. Thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. Beep, 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 beep. By the way, I'm wearing these Ana Luisa earrings, just by the way. Okay, bye.